Welcome to Oracle SQL and PLSQL session. Let us start our today's session. In our previous session, we have seen anonymous block. And from today, we will start with named blocks. So what is named blocks? So for anonymous block, we will not have any names. Okay, so we have to execute it and it will be compiled and then it will show the result. Okay, and anonymous block will not be stored in the database. It will not be stored. But the thing is, if you are executing the same queries or same logic every day, you can compile it and store it in database. Okay, store it in database as an object. So every time, so any select statement or anything if you are running, so Oracle will first it will do the parsing. So parsing means it will check the select statement or any statement. It will check. It converts these languages into machine executable language. Then it will check for execution plan and it will execute. So if you are running the same query multiple times every day, every time it needs to parse that query, right? So instead, if you have stored as an object the database, it will be very easy. So that is what we can go with named blocks. So we do have named blocks like a stored procedure. So we have the procedure. Yes, we have the stored procedure. We have the stored function. So you can say it's a function, right? So you can have functions and we can have packages. So packages and we can have the triggers. Okay, so these four we are going to learn from today. So first we will start with procedure. So I hope you have practiced our previous class sessions. Like you should have completed cursor, right? We have seen cursor and all the control statements and everything. So we can have this, whatever we have seen so far, like if statement, looping statement, cursor, and all this inside these blocks. Okay, so here also you can have the same thing. And that is what the stored procedure, stored function, packages, triggers will do. So what is this differences? Named blocks, you will see. So stored procedure or function or packages or triggers are nothing but it is a pre-compiled object stored in database. So you can compile it and you can check the errors and you can successfully save that object in the database. After that, you can execute multiple times. Okay, so what is procedure? What is stored procedure? The name itself, it shows that it's a stored procedure, right? Okay, it will be stored in the database as an object. So stored procedure is nothing but it is a pre-compiled object. So we will compile it one time. We will check the errors. We will compile it successfully compiled or not. We will check it. Then it will be stored as an object in the database. So it's like a table, views, and all this, right? This is the PLSQL object. It will be stored in the database. So you can compile once, and then execute multiple times. Okay, that is the advantage of procedures. And it provides reusability. So that means, as I told here, you can compile it one times. You can check the errors and everything. No need to again and again check for the parsing and errors, all this, right? So once it is compiled, that's it. And after that, you can execute. So procedures are explicitly executed by the user. So you can execute procedures or you can schedule it. You can pass some parameters. Okay, so we do have three types of parameters: in parameter, out parameter, in out parameter. So those things we'll see. So by using these parameters only, we can make the procedures dynamic procedures. So we do have two types of procedures in our Oracle. One is static procedure, other one is dynamic procedure. See, static procedures means it will not contain any arguments. Simply procedure alone it will have, and it will display always the same result. Even you can have any database table, you can write it. But the thing is, so if the database data, if it is changing, then result will change. Otherwise, it will display the same result always. So we do have dynamic procedures. So this is what we will use mostly in our real-time projects. Okay. So what is dynamic procedure? Dynamic procedure means it will have an arguments. So might be a in parameter, out parameter, or in out parameter. That's what it will have. So for any procedure, it contains two parts. It is very simple. If you know how to write an anonymous block we will go directly with the declare, right? Instead, the anonymous block, if I want to give some input, how will you give input in anonymous block? You will use the ampersand symbol, right? So ampersand symbol, you can define some variables. So you can get this variable with some variable. Okay, v underscore a is one variable. It's a number data type. And then you can assign some value. Then this is the way you can get the value for this particular variable during the runtime. But here in named block, you can go for parameters or arguments. So we'll call it as a parameter argument. If you are providing the parameter, then it will become a dynamic procedures. So this is the syntax of the procedures. I'll tell you, it's very, very simple. So it will contains two different parts. One is procedure specification and procedure body. Okay, so two things it will have. What is that? Procedure specification and procedure body. So specification is nothing but this is the procedure specification you can have. And if you see this, it's very simple. You can go with create procedure. So one way you can write simply this way, create procedure. So this is a keyword. Whatever you are seeing in the blue color, it is a keyword. Create procedure name. Okay. So sometimes you will call it's a proc name. It's a nothing but it's a procedure name. Then you can put whatever the argument we want to pass, and then so is and begin. So you can use is or as. You can put anything. Begin. So begin and end. So this is what we will write. See here within this is and begin, we will write variables declaration. All this variable we will put. So here we are going to have within that is and begin, we will write all the declaration part. But this is the specification. Okay, so procedure specification. Then what is the meaning of or replace? So what is the meaning of or replace? See, if already procedure exists, okay, if already procedure exists, then you can use, if you want to change the procedure functionality, you can put or replace. So one more time, you can execute on the same name, then it will get replaced. So that's what you can use. So create or replace. So we cannot write create or replace table name, right? But we can write create or replace procedure, name of the procedure, argument, and you can give. So what is the input parameter or output parameter? So that you can mention that in means it is input parameter. What is the data type of this parameter? So that we have to define here. Okay. So this is the syntax of the procedure. Syntax of the procedures. See here, create or replace. So this one is optional one. Or replace is nothing but optional one. So create or replace procedure, procedure name, and you can have list of parameters. We can have parameters here. So it's we will call it as the argument. Okay. Like argument means we are passing the value, right? So that's it. Parameters also you will be passing like values for the parameter. You can use either as is anything you can use. Okay. So it's R. So if you are using this way, it is a R condition. So anything you can use, it defines you are starting your body of the procedure. So this is the body of the procedure. Inside you can have the declaration. So whatever the variable you are going to use here, so that variable you can declare here and begin and end. It is an executable section here, and you can have the exceptions. So you can have the exception handling. So exception we will see is separately how to handle all the exceptions. Now you can have this. This is the procedure. Okay. So how to write procedure? Create or replace procedure, procedure name, and list of parameters is declaration, begin, and execution, exception, exception handling. The exception handling is like optional one. So if you want, you can use it. Otherwise, you can leave it. So normally in the try catch block, you use right in our any other programming language, you will use try catch. Same way here, we will use try this. If you're getting any exceptions, you can handle it here. So that's what we'll use exceptions. Okay, first we will start with static procedure. So what is the static procedure? So if you see this is nothing but it marks the beginning of the body of the procedure. Okay. So that's what in between is and begin. That's what we will write all the declaration part. Okay. So here we can have this. Say I'm going to write create or replace. And first, I'm not using any replace. You assume that I'm just using this way. Create procedure, procedure name as begin. Just inside, I'm just using only DBMS output. Welcome to PLSQL session. Just I'm making this way. Okay. So end, that's it. It is similar to your anonymous block, right? But instead, in the procedure, if you see this procedures, so as of now, there is no procedure like greetings, right? So here there is no procedure like greetings. But if I'm going to execute, one procedure will be created. So if you refresh here on the left-hand side, you'll be seeing this procedures, right? So it will have only this particular definition. That's it. It's compiled and it will be stored here. And whether it will be executed, no, it will be compiled. That's it. See, procedure will always compiled. It will be compiled. Okay. If you want to execute it, you can execute this way. EXEC procedure name. That's it. So you can use this way. EXEC then procedure name. So it doesn't have any input parameter, right? So you can go and execute. Then so it will show you the result. So whenever you are going to execute, so that time only the procedure will be called and then it will be executed. See here. And you can execute multiple times. You can execute multiple times here. So it will be executed. So this is static, right? So always it will give you the same result. Is it static? Okay. So can I create same procedure one more time? No, I cannot create it. I will show you name already used by an existing object. So that's what we will get it. But I want to modify here. PLSQL procedure session, something like that I have to modify. How can I modify? So either you have to drop and recreate. So instead of drop and recreate, you can go for create or replace. If already exist, it will be replaced. So welcome to PLSQL procedure session. So just I'm writing this way. So if I'm going to compile it, so it will be compiled. Then if I'm going to execute, whatever here I have updated, so that will be entered now. So if you want to drop this procedure, so you can make drop procedure name. So just you can make this drop procedure name. You can drop it. It will be dropped. Okay, can I create procedures with table name? You have the table here, customer, right? Yes, on the same schema. Can I create a procedure on the same name of a table or views or anything? If I'm trying to create, it will give you the error, right? So everything is like an object. So you cannot use a table name or say for an example, views, I'm going to use it. So views employees underscore V. So in this name, sorry, employees underscore V, right? So this is the one. If I'm trying to execute this, it will also throw an error saying that name is already used by an existing object. Okay, so all the object will be stored in one place. So it will be like a primary key, and you cannot use the same name of your table or views or any other objects. You cannot use it on the same name. Okay, even for function also, you cannot use the same name of your tables and views. So this is one concept here. Create or replace procedure, procedure name, and all this. So draw procedures. So if I want to execute the procedures, say for an example, I have executed this procedure, right? So I'm going to use Control C. This procedure, create or replace, I'm going to execute. This procedure has been executed. Okay. But we are using replace option. So that's what replace you can use, but you cannot replace other object name. Okay, other object name, you cannot replace it. If already existing procedure, it will replace, but other object, it will not be replaced. So if you have created a customer as a table, can I create customer as a view? Can I create customer as a procedure? No, we cannot create, right? We should not create it. That object should not be replaced, correct? That is a different object. So that's why we are getting that error. So I hope you are clear, and that is what it will not be created. So, okay, I have created a procedure. So how can I execute this procedure? Normally you have to use simply in real time of project also. If you are calling any procedures in Informatica Power Center or anything, so just you can use exec, the procedure name. That's it. Okay, you can use. So different way you can execute. This is one of the way. So just execute. If you have any input parameter, you have to provide. This is one way. You can use execute. Okay, so completely you can put execute and procedure name. So this will also be executed. Or you can go and execute in the anonymous block. Okay, so begin and end. So this is begin and end, and you can use the procedure name here. That's it. Okay, so this way also you can execute a procedure. So if it is even if it has any argument, yes, you can pass the argument here. You can use begin and end. You can use this way. Even if you're going to call the procedure in PLSQL, PostSQL, or PreSQL or anything. So this is the way you can call it. So what is the different way? One is execute procedure, and exec procedure, that is also execute only. And within anonymous block, you can call it. Even inside the procedure also, you can call multiple times. Okay, you can call. So execute procedure name. This way you can call. Okay, so how can I use some parameters? See, we do have three types of parameters. So there are three types of parameters are available. So what is the parameter? See, one is in parameter. So in means passing a value to the procedure. Okay, so you are giving a value to the procedure runtime. So just you can use in, and then you can pass a value at the runtime. So whatever the value you want to pass. So you remember we have used cursor, right? Something you have used cursor or anonymous block, anything we can use. But we have collected some employee ID or some other information, department ID, by using ampersand symbol. Instead, you can use input parameter. That means you are giving a value to the procedure. Next one is out parameter. So out means you are getting a value. Okay, so you are getting a value from the procedure. So that's what you can go with. So input and output parameter. The other one is in out. So in out means the same variable. Okay, same variable or parameter can be used as input as well as output. Okay, so that's what we have. Three types of parameters. So this is the three types of parameters we will use in our even in real time project also. So do we have any limitations? Limitations on the number of parameters? No, you can pass any parameters. Runtime, run in the runtime, mostly like wherever you are finding something like at symbol. in real-time project, it will be passed as a parameter. Okay, you'll be getting this value on the runtime. Might be a table name or batch date or today's date, something like that you'll be getting from the. So whenever you are running that, so that time you are getting. So batch date. What is the batch date? If you are running a batch on this particular date, so that particular date will be passed. So that is what. See, that is dynamic value. Even in parameter also, you are not passing static value. So today is today's date. Tomorrow's date will be passed and depends. All these parameter values are depends and it will change dynamically. So if you see this particular procedure, so what it will do, it's very simple procedure. Create or replace procedure name. So I'm taking one more procedure. If you want, you can use the same greeting itself. Okay. So what is this? See, always use parameter, the parameter name here, and define whether it is an input parameter or output parameter and what is the data type. See here, while defining the data type, no need to mention what is the length of that particular data type. Okay, so precision and scale, no need to mention. Varchar2 date or number, that's it. Okay, no need to mention varchar2 of 100, no need to mention varchar2 of 200 and all. So instead of using hard-coded data type here, even you can use any other database table percentage type. So instead of using hard-coded data type, you can use percentage type as well. So percentage type, we have already seen how to use it. And so yes, as anything you can put begin and end. Just we are taking that one procedure. Okay, DBMS output, and I'm giving some hard-coded value hello, and I'm giving some person name. So whatever the person name I'm using, so that particular name I have to print it here. So even how many times I have to print. So that is also I can use by using looping statements. Yes. So how many times you have to print the value? So previously you have seen like something like in the looping statement. Okay, we will give the value as some hard-coded value, right? Instead, you can use as the procedures and you can give in this way. So I'm going to execute. So this will be compiled. And if I want to execute this, I have to use exec procedure name. You can put the procedure name here and within bracket, you have to pass value. Okay. So it's a varchar, right? You can pass within the single quotes. So you can use single quotes. So you can use anything here. Okay. So any name you can use it here. I'm going to execute this. Okay. It will be printed with this. So whatever I'm passing here, so that will be printed here. And this hello, it's a hard-coded value. So that we have passed. Okay. So if it is varchar, I'm not giving a varchar. I'm just passing like this. Okay. Whether it will be executed. So if it is a number, yes, we can pass this way. But here it's a character, right? If I'm going to pass this way, it will give you error in this way. So what is the error you are getting? So whenever you are getting error, you can see here ORA. So this is Oracle predefined exceptions. It will give you some numbers. Starting from 0 to 1, it is like Oracle predefined one. So above 1 is Oracle user defined exceptions. So user defined exception while coming, I will teach you what is this number says that. And here we have the line number. So where is the line number? Here itself you are getting the error. And column number 21. Okay, so here the wherever you are passing this value, so that is what you are getting one, and encounter the symbol when expecting one of the following. Okay, it is expecting something like this one. So that is what it is getting error. Okay, usually compilation error, we are getting that. And it is expecting something like double quotes or single quotes. So you have to give always single quotes or double quotes. You can execute like this. and it will be executed. Okay. So can I give double quotes here? So here, see, I'm using double quotes here. So what will happen? But even if I'm going to give double quotes, it's showing that it should be declared. It is taking like a declaration, okay, variable. So don't give that. So always if it is a varchar, give it like single quotes. Okay. So date, if you are giving, yes, what is the date format you are defining? The same format you have to give, or while giving the date format, you have to define the format. So this way you can execute in parameter. So this is very simple procedure, right? But we will use the procedures more and more. Okay. So I will tell you how to use it. This is input parameters. So I'm giving a value, right? What is that? This is input. So that input will be taken here. That will be printed. Can I take output from here? Can I take output from here? Yes, you can take output from here. So whenever you want to take output from here, say for an example, if I want to take output from here, so this way I'm going with. So what is the procedure will do? So what is this procedure will do? Just I'm creating one procedure, total one. So total or addition, whatever it may be. So I have to pass one number here, input parameter, number to another one parameter, and total I will get it as a output parameter. So number one is number here, number two also number, and total is it's also number, but total you have to get it outside. Create or replace procedure name. So in and output parameters. How many parameters I'm using? 3 parameters. Out of these 3, 2 are input, 1 is output. So we have to remember this. As am I going to use any variable here? No, I'm not using variable. Just I'm finding the total. So total equal to n1 plus n2. This is equal is nothing but assignment operator. Total equal to n1 plus n2. So just I'm using n1 and 2. So I'm going to compile it. So what is the result I will get it? What is the result I will get it? So that result, you can get it as the out parameter here. Out parameter here. I'm going to execute this. So it will be compiled. So how can I execute this? See, directly we cannot execute since it has output parameter. Okay, if I'm going to use this say exec and procedure name, and I'm going to give some numbers, 2 numbers. Can I use this way? No, I cannot use it this way. Since it has output parameter, it will show you that wrong number of or types of argument. See why? I have to pass 3 arguments, right? I have passed only 2 arguments. So that's what you will be getting error. The third argument, you can pass it like any value, like something like X. But X, what is that? You have to inform Oracle that what is this X? So X is nothing but it should be declared, right? If you're passing anything, anything other than this N1, N2 or total, so that should be declared. You cannot use this way. So if you want to call this, you have to go for anonymous block. So that you have to use it. So how can I use it? So this way you have to use. See here, this way you can use, or I will tell you the other way. Okay. The other way, 2 ways we can use. So what is that first way? Yes. So begin and end. You can call this procedure total one. I'm passing 7, 8, x. So what is x here? X is nothing but number. I'm just declaring here. So that x I'm printing here. The total of 2 numbers are this one. So this is dynamic value, right? 7, 8 is dynamic value I'm passing. What is this total one? Total one, I'm not declaring anything from here. So that is nothing but a procedure which already we have defined. We have already executed. And I'm going to execute this way. It will give you 15. So for an example, I'm changing the numbers from here. I'm changing the numbers here. Then it will, so only I'm changing the input and output. Based on that, it is changing, right? So this is the way you can call the procedure. This is one way. The other way is, you can use this way. Say for an example, here in the procedure itself, create or replace procedure here, inputs number n to as number as total one is a number, begin n1 equal to n2. This way you can pass. And what is the output? So here itself I have declared total. So what is the output I can get? So that should be a, so even you can call exec directly. You can call this and you can use. But here I'm not using any output parameter. So why? Because I have called this one here itself. Okay. So data type is already defined. Again, why should we declare output data type? Where I'm declaring this data type is variable we are here using, right? That variable. Okay, whatever the variable here I'm using, so that variable I'm using. Okay, instead of total, I can use add additions. So what is this addition? So that I'm defining here. It's a number. Then addition I'm placing. So here, if I'm going to use, it will give you the value. You can give some other number also. Okay, so I have defined only number. So, but you are getting, yes, value you are getting, right? So this is the way you can define it. So it's a different way. But here I'm not using out parameter. Just I'm using only two input parameter. So that input parameter itself, you can go here. But if I want to take anything out, yes, you can call the anonymous block and the block you have to use. Okay, can I use same parameter as an input and output? Yes, you can use. If you see this, create or replace. So I can use create or replace procedure name. This is procedure name. In out multiplication. I'm passing one value here. So some number. It is the in-out parameter. So input and output is a number. Okay. So both we are passing. So it is not in space output. Okay. In-out. So not in this way. This way. Normally we'll say it's a in-out parameter. So this is this parameter, we will call it as, it will act as both input and output. As I do not have any declaration part here, I'll go to begin. So within the begin and end, I'm going to pass x equal to x into 5. So this 5, I'm just giving hard coded value. If you want, you can give any other number also here. Okay, something like, so what is the number you want to pass? You can go for A. A is number, input parameter. So x into this A, how many times you want to proceed? See, whatever x, say for an example, x I'm passing like 10. This 10 will be passed here. 10 into 5, 50. So that will be stored on the same variable, x. So x equal to x into 5. It will store on the same variable. It will be replaced. And this will be passed to the out also on the same. So while coming, it will come value as 10. While taking as an output, it will take value as 50. It will be multiplied by this number and then it will take. Then how can I call this? Same way you have to go for, since it has output parameter, I have to go for anonymous block. So how can I use the anonymous block? It's very simple. Declare begin and end. Within the begin and end, I'm passing in out multiplication x. What is this X? If you want, you can directly pass value here, 40 here, but I'm passing X equal to 6. So here I'm just declaring. So that X will be passed here. This X will be passed to the above one, and the 6 into 5, it will be multiplied, and 30 will be printed here. So if you see this, this alone, you might be thinking X equal to 6 in out multiplication. So I'm passing X here and here. So it is not printing like 6. It will print 6 into 5. So 30. So 30 will be printed here. And see this. Even we are calling it from the anonymous block, right? Instead, you can go for the procedure also. Now, why we are getting some error? We'll check. Before that, I haven't compiled here. That's why we got error. And this time, if you see this, has been compiled and you are getting this value. So in this example, we have seen if you are saying in, it is nothing but input parameter. If you are saying out, so that is the output parameter. If you are saying in and out, both are there, then same variable can be used as an input and as well as output.